Every day brings us a new development in the Sean P. Diddy Combs case. It keeps getting wilder and wilder, so let me tell you all the latest about this hip-hop kingpin. Lately there seem to be allegations popping up left and right concerning P. Diddy, and his relationship or recent lack thereof, at least in the past year, with Jamie Foxx, has received a lot of attention. You might remember Jamie Foxx disappearing after having a medical emergency in 2023.
In an overnight Instagram video, Foxx said, "I went to hell and back," and credited his sister, daughter, and medical staff for saving his life.
The public received some information on his status at the start, but after that, absolutely nothing was heard. Radio silence. Many are now theorizing that his sudden medical emergency had something to do with Diddy and his wild parties. Diddy parties, also known as freak-off parties, are known for their debauchery and the wild things that happen. There were countless victims who did not want to be there, but were kept complacent and calm through all sorts of substances that were given to them. This was done not only to keep them calm during the act, but also keep them quiet after the fact. Allegedly, IV fluids would be administered to these victims to help them recover from the stress their bodies had gone through during the party. How horrific must it all be for them to have gotten something like an IV to have a chance to recover? Even during most stressful situations, you should be fine after getting some peace and rest. IVs are only administered during critical situations, so you can only imagine what's done to get them to that state. Allegedly, the parties would take place in various hotel rooms in Diddy's mansion, with multiple hands on deck making sure the victims and male sex workers got there. There's a rumor that states that the youngest victim of these parties was only 9 years old. How twisted do you have to be to participate willingly in one of these parties? At this moment, 120 people have come forward claiming sexual misconduct by Diddy, and there's no doubt there will be more victims.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Taken part in them, with Jamie Foxx being one of them. He was close to Diddy for many years, being seen at these parties and commenting on them in public. What he was doing at them is sort of up in the air, as there have been allegations of homosexual behavior being thrown at both Diddy and Jamie, but we'll talk about that later in this video. For now, we'll concentrate on the reason Jamie was hospitalized in the first place. Two theories are floating around, both placing the happenings at a Diddy party and involving the man himself. The motive is the most important thing in any crime, and we have no idea why it came to an altercation, but many believe that Jamie had wanted out. It's possible that he wanted to leave this sort of lifestyle behind, and that was the reason Diddy was pissed off. Another option represents a crime Jamie had committed at a party many years in the past, and that was filming the party with his own camera. He'd already angered Diddy with this, and it's as clear as day why he wouldn't want anyone besides himself to have recordings of the things that happen at his after parties. It wouldn't be the first time Diddy had gotten rid of someone who he saw as a threat, as he's known for having a short fuse and making impulsive decisions. You don't need to look any further than the shooting that took place in New York in 1999, involving Diddy and J-Lo, his girlfriend at the time. This specific shootout injured 3 people and left another in jail, who'd already been set up to take the fall by Diddy. Diddy himself was the one who fired shots that had sent shrapnel flying into a woman's face, leaving her scarred for life.
Basically, it marked 25 years, a quarter of a century since this occurred, and I've had to relive this over and over again, intermittently in that time. So when I saw it, it was very cathartic because I finally felt like justice would be done. Justice would be mine.
Diddy would go on to brag about that night, how J-Lo had been an accomplice in the function of a gun mule. He threw a man into prison, but the most important thing was that it wasn't him. Interestingly, Jamie also had a run-in with Jennifer Lopez and Diddy, which had gone south.
I was doing some jokes on Saturday Night Live about, Puffy and Jennifer, and she got mad. I saw her at the Grammys, and she was upset with me. Now, I know Jennifer from In Living Color. She was the fly girl and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? We go back. You know what I'm saying? I remember before the J-Lo, I remember when it was just, hey ho.
Jamie, being a comedian, made some sort of comment about J-Lo, which was supposed to be taken as some light-hearted fun. Unfortunately, Diddy's ready to pounce for any small mistake you make, and this was one of those. Now, the way Diddy tried to get rid of Jamie differs in the two theories. The first, more popular one, says that he had taken some sort of medicine that wasn't medicine at all, and it landed him in the hospital fighting for his life. The second theory states that Jamie had gotten beaten up by Diddy and a few others. No matter what happened that night, it's clear that Jamie had stepped on the wrong person's toes and wanted an out, and he did receive one after his hospital stay, as the man had gone radio silent. No one knew where he was or what he was doing. That was up until a few months ago when he came out of hiding. Jamie has quite a history with Diddy, often talking about him like an old friend who would come around his house sometimes for some more intimate gatherings.
Oh, he would throw a party. One point, I went to Philly, followed him all the way to Philly. He threw a party, and he said, "Yo, Playboy, this party costs $1.5 million
to throw."
I'm like, "You are out of your mind." And I said, "Puff, I'll throw you a party for $400.
The next thing he says is rather shocking, as this small party Jamie had thrown might have been one of the first times Jay-Z and Diddy had occupied the same space together. Perhaps this was the first time they had ever even talked to one another. As a lot of you know, these two will go on to form a friendship that will last many years, with both of them being twisted in their own special ways. Jamie mentioning Jay-Z in this interview even feels like some sort of foreshadowing, or like a creepy horror movie flashback, where we get to see where it had all gone so incredibly wrong.
And standing on the wall, nobody knew who he was. Guess who it was? It was Jay-Z. Standing on, they didn't know who he was yet, and I saw him, "What's up, man?" He said, "It's a nice party, man. Appreciate it."
Others have also commented on this whole situation, along with Choke No Joke in a recent interview. He speaks about Jamie Foxx's coming Netflix special and the role Diddy had taken in his life. Apparently, Jamie spills on the whole situation and blames Diddy for his extended hospital stay. Not only that, but supposedly Jamie was the one that sent the FBI after him in the first place, making all of their history even wilder to think about. What could have happened between them that made Jamie completely turn on an old friend like that?
Jamie Foxx states in the special that Diddy was responsible for what happened to him, and he is the one that called the FBI on him.
So it's got to be a joke, though, right?
I don't think he was joking. Y'all can determine was he joking or not.
The Netflix documentary is set to come out soon, and there is no doubt that it will shake Hollywood even more than it is currently. Interestingly, Jamie was nowhere to be seen before Diddy was in prison. Then all of a sudden, Diddy's behind bars, and Jamie's seen at a football game and is filming a whole special, part of it talking about Diddy. This football game has also managed to stir up an old beast that Jamie had thought he had put to sleep a long time ago. In the live stream, Jamie's sitting on the bleachers watching a Dallas Cowboys game when their coach comes up to him and starts providing him some commentary on the players. Now, this isn't the type of commentary you'd expect from a coach during a football game. Instead of talking about the game strategy, he decided to mention the players' private part size. Jamie abruptly ends the stream with fans wondering what those comments were about.
5'9", 210, 441. Okay.
9 3-inch head. 8.5-inch dick.
This moment seemed to confirm what most thought of being absolutely true, and that being that Jamie had certain preferences for men. This coach saying something like that and the panic in which Jamie turned off the stream shows us that there was possibly a reason the coach mentioned something so crude to him. He is of course not the only one who's been accused of having a preference for male partners. I'm of course talking about Diddy. It makes you wonder if they were friends primarily for this reason. Diddy never practiced exclusivity with his partners, clearly, so he spent a lot of his time with other celebrities. The most notable from this case perhaps is Justin Bieber. Bieber has seemingly suffered a lot at Diddy's hands. Many think that he was first brought to him by Usher, with Justin being only 14 at the time he met Diddy. It's hard to imagine someone so young taking part in these parties. Despite being little more than a child, with him barely entering his teenage years, he witnessed and did things that would make even an adult's stomach churn.
I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we gonna go full, buck full crazy.
There is no doubt that his past has scarred him for life. Many are guessing that before Justin Bieber, Diddy's main target had been Usher, which makes it even more tragic that he would willingly give up a person to a demon like him. Thankfully, Justin grew up to protect those around him who had the potential to be in the same situation he had been in, and they're surely grateful. Billie Eilish is believed to be the person he protected the most, with both of them being extremely close, and Billie calling him her protector.
Did you feel protective of her?
Yeah, I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. So I just kind of, let her do her thing, and if she ever needs me, I'm gonna be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments.
Hopefully, he'll be able to leave this part of his past behind and focus on the positive. And there's no doubt that Diddy being put behind bars will do anything other than amazing things for him. Unfortunately, there will be people who were involved in this case but got away with it. You might remember the Epstein Island case, which reminds us a lot of the Diddy case. Many seem to have forgotten about it, despite the fact that it had gone down not so long ago. Epstein Island was exposed for having been a center for a sex trafficking ring. The island was known for the amount of children that had landed there, and their lives had been changed forever. We obviously didn't learn much from this, as only a bit more than a decade later, Hollywood has been proven as some sort of sex trafficking front. Hopefully we'll get some answers this time, as Epstein has been killed in his jail cell before we had gotten the names of his accomplices. Everyone is keeping a close eye on Diddy, for a reason. If you've liked this video so far, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. Some other interesting bits of information came from Diddy's old bodyguard, who spoke about Diddy's inclinations. He mentioned that a big part of his job was standing outside of a Turkish baths, waiting for Diddy to finish up his business so they could continue on their way. It's not hard to guess what those Turkish baths were primarily used for, and it certainly wasn't just to get a nice warm bath.
Wait outside of Turkish baths for them? You know what they do in the Turkish baths?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay. That's where a lot of gay men meet.
He said he would wait outside of these Turkish baths 3 to 4 times a week. With that, private meetings, and the freak-off parties, Diddy seemed to be a very busy man.
And this particular artist and Puff, they told me, don't let nobody come in the room. So I said, all right, cool. So I propped my chair by the room door while they went in. So this artist's cousin knocked on the door.
He also enjoyed telling the story of Diddy and another, unnamed artist getting caught in their indiscretions. Diddy had taken this mystery artist to a room, telling his bodyguard not to let anyone in, under any circumstance. Gene Deal, the bodyguard, takes his job very seriously, so he respected his wishes. A little while later, a man came to the door. Gene recognized him as the artist's cousin, so he let him into the apartment, but not the room, so they got into a bit of a scuffle.
Joked him up and slammed him on the piano. And the next thing you know, Puff and this artist run out the room naked. And so then I said, I see the artist trying to grab a towel. Puff didn't give a shit.
As Gene slammed the man on the piano, Diddy and the artist ran out of the room in a panic, naked. While the artist at least had some decency to wrap a towel around himself, Diddy walked around like he was the only man in the world. This does a lot to show just what type of man he was. Having no shame certainly allows a man to do things he shouldn't under any circumstance. But who needs morals when you're rich, powerful, and just don't give a damn about anyone or anything? This bodyguard dropped some rather intense secrets and facts on us. The most interesting one, talking about the lawsuit itself. While we knew we didn't know the whole extent of the situation, he claims that the lawsuit itself and the documents released have been chopped up with things left out to protect certain people. You can't help but wonder who exactly they're protecting and why.
Anything in that lawsuit, you gotta realize that we only got a portion of it because it's been chopped up. Things has been taken out. So somebody wouldn't look a certain way.
Right now, all we can do is speculate. And we do need to be prepared for the scenario in which we never get to know the whole truth. At this moment in the case, we're relying on a lot of he said, she said. But even that is better than the years and years of silence that have allowed Hollywood, this huge industry that pumps out people we're supposed to look up to and adore be ruled by perverts and pedophiles. There's certainly a big change coming in Hollywood. We'll see many old faces leave that world behind because of the public outrage at their involvement. Hopefully people will soon snap out of their tendency to adore celebrities. This whole mess has made it clear that those people do not hang the stars in the sky. They were just people who got involved with the wrong thing. Many of us dreamed of becoming stars just like them, but the price is very steep, maybe even too steep for the majority of people, and I don't blame them for that. You even become appreciative of living a simple life when you hear about the things rich people are doing or what's being done to them. It's tragic what some of the young people in that industry have gone through, but there isn't much to be done to make sure that something like this doesn't repeat itself. Diddy might be in prison right now, but that doesn't mean that someone new won't come along and replace him. If you have anything you'd like to add, make sure to leave it in the comments down below.